I'm Bill Gardner. I've got a small farm here at Horsham. I'm a member of the local land care group. I've been living here since about 1981. I worked for DPI for a few years as a research scientist, and now I work as a small farmer and a small-time consultancy business to other grain farmers.
I'm John Walsh, work as a metal fabricator for about 20 years and currently just helping Bill develop this project.
Oh, well, about 2 years ago we had a forum at the local hall here where we were talking about sustainable energy and fuels and that sort of thing. We nutted out that ultimately the best way to go would be to look at replacing diesel fuel. The sort of technology we were looking at was what's called a Gasifier system. These were developed in the Second World War and earlier, running on charcoal in that case. There was something like, I think, multiple millions of vehicles running on gasifiers during the Second World War. And we finally came around to the point where we said, well, why don't we just use grain? It's already briquetted, if you like. It's in little discrete lumps. We've all got machinery to handle grain. Grain, that's what the Wimmera's about, is grain production. So we're trying to work out whether or not we can use grain to produce gas as an alternative to diesel. And the land care group put up $2,500 to the idea, and John does the fabrication work. Will's an engineer by training, and he sort of checks that we're not doing anything too crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm Will Pike. I live in the community. I'm an engineer by profession and training, and in the land care group, and got involved in this right from the start. But on a periphery, Bill and John have done most of the work. But I've been here. I've attended a few days, and I certainly haven't done as much as these two have.
Well, initially I heard about it through the land care, and then Bill had a committee going, and I was on the committee with Bill, and then obviously we had to start a prototype of some description, and my premises here are fairly well set up for that sort of thing, so this is why it's ended up the project happening here.
Yeah, we think we're getting somewhere. We've actually produced gas from grain, which as far as I know, I don't know of anyone else who's done that.
I just like the idea of being able to do something as simple as burning something to create a product that you can use equate to generating power or powering your car or simply heating your house. Like something like that could do the lot. We've made that out of everything we've had laying around here. We haven't really bought anything in, and we've been able to get like a big flame coming out of that tower all afternoon for what, a bag of wheat.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting in that respect. Yeah.
Our next thing is to take it from there and connect it to an engine.
I'm certainly concerned that our future is pretty limited as far as not fossil fuels, but petroleum fuels are concerned. I think, we're in for big problems in a fairly near future. And if fuel just cuts off, I mean, it's going to have repercussions in all sorts of parts of the community very suddenly.
They're pretty practical people, Wimmera guys. They can see that this actually makes sense in a money fashion. And I think everybody's secretly looking at the Middle East and they're thinking, I got a big operation here and I need a lot of diesel every year. I've got to start thinking, if we can get a tractor operating on this and run it for a season and maybe even get it onto a header and actually demonstrate it, I reckon we'll be well on the road to achieving something. We're doing it on a shoestring at the moment. We're going to have to get some money from somewhere, but that'll happen, I think. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't good fun. I mean, we're not getting paid for this. In my case, I've not got to negotiate with my wife to get my Sundays off, which is another thing. It's John's only day off, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I work full time elsewhere. And the day generally starts at about 10 o'clock. Could wind up in the dark so we can fully see the colour of the flame coming out the top. And yeah, there's a lot of thinking, and barbecue generally goes during the day, and the odd beer's been opened at the end of the day.
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah.
I like the Wimmera that there are people with unusual skills floating around in the community. there are a lot of eccentrics out here. There's a guy out in the Wimmera who's got a tank in his yard and a couple of military aircraft in his front paddock. I mean, you know, but that's what he wants to do, that's fine.
Oh, well, somebody said they're going to be making a film of the nutty professors the other day, so I suppose there's always that concept that people perceive us as a bit odd. But
Oh, we had good support the other night. We had a night here and quite a few people turned up.
We lit this thing and had a few beers and a barbecue. I found it really good fun, you know. A lot of the older farmers actually can remember gasifiers in the Second World War. And a lot of the other young, you know, the other guys, quite a few of them were there. You could see their mind going around, they're looking at it and say, I could build that. That doesn't look too hard. You know, it was really interesting. And then they had ideas about how you might do it. And people were standing up and lighting things in the flame to make sure it was there. And
yeah, it's just a good way to catch up with people you don't see all that often, but you know who they are. And just to hear their ideas on the project was quite interesting. And a lot of farmers, for instance, are very good thinkers. They solve things in ways that you don't see the light, you know, like some things are black and white, and they give you an idea that's quite good.
I'm now convinced that the shot to do is just to, you get interested people together and you all chip in and do it, and we're actually getting somewhere. And I think, you know, if we get runs on the board, it's going to work. But this is a really good community like that.
I've lived in this area for many years and I didn't really know Bill or Will till this project happened. So in that respect, yeah, if it's done one thing, it's put some people together, I guess. Yeah.
oh, working with these blokes is good fun. I mean, yeah, that's there's no major arguments, there's no major disagreements, and yeah, to have a Sunday doing this is a good way to have a Sunday doing things. Yeah.
It's fantastic living here because of the environment and the view of the mountain, and having the property is 60 acres, and it's just good to have plenty of room to walk around, and yeah, it's great.